see me in two different places, but I am here and I do want to let you know that I am in person. So yes, Christy, I am live. Christy has found the chat box. All right, to Christy, I want to give props to Christy for being the first one to find that chat box. That's the most important thing because as I said, I do customize every session that I do, and this is going to be 45 minutes of your time. Yep, Christy, I'm so excited you did find it. You are the winner, number one in. So I do want to make sure you find it because I do want to make sure that this is 45 to 50 minutes of your time that you're investing, and it's not just great factoids, right? So that's where I can hear you, so I can see your questions, and that is in the chat box. So do find that chat box. Let's make sure that Christy is not the only person there. Find that chat box, and if you don't know how to find it, then make sure that you let us know, okay? Just let us know with any waving or anything like that, and Bill will make sure that you can find that chat box. But it should be a little icon at the very bottom there of your Zoom that does say chat on it. Looks like two little bubbles, little message bubbles there, okay? All right, can everybody, let me see, you should see the slide that says score. Northeast Indiana. Does everybody see that? Just let me know in the chat box so that we can go ahead and move forward. I am also recording as well. Got a nice clean recording of this and crisp, but I do want to make sure that this is there for you. I am very interactive. So because I'm so interactive, I do like to make sure that I know exactly what you're thinking and what would be helpful to you. Hello, hello, Tanisha. Perfect. You do see that. Perfect. Because that's exactly what we're looking for, is to be able to make this worth your time. And then at the end, if there are long questions, so if it takes about a sentence to write it, it takes a minute for me to read it. And that's not a great learning environment for everybody just to see the top of my head as I read. So I'll save those to the end. Plus they could be confidential. So I do, for myself, turn off my side of the recording just to make sure that I preserve your confidentiality. All right. So we're going to dive in. As we dive in, this is who I am. Of course, as I showed you a moment ago, I am right here. I've been with the Google team for over 7 years. I've been a small business owner, and that means that I know what it's like to be able to try to implement all of this while still taking care of clients and being butcher, baker, and candlestick maker. So I know what it's like to practically put this in and not just spend all day studying it or have all day to implement it, because you've got to take care of business. You're not only working on, but you are working in your business. And that is so critical because many of us still find joy in that. Hello, Sandra. Good afternoon. I do see you there. So perfect, Sandra. All right. This is where you could find the slides and the handout right now. If you want to use that in real time and follow along with me, then please feel free to do that. Of course, you will get that afterwards. It will be emailed to you as well as a copy of the recording. It may be later today. It could be first thing in the morning. So do not feel that you've been forgotten. But if you want to follow along right now, while we're in session, the handout and the slides are available. After the session's done, they will no longer be available at that location. So if you want to download them now, now's the time to do it, because if you try to come back to do it after the session, they will not be there. You'll need to wait until that email comes later this afternoon or in the morning. All right, so you'll get a copy of all of those. And again, if you do want to use those, I'm going to drop this in the chat box here. You can either use the bit.ly link, unless you're, of course, or the QR code, unless, of course, you are on a mobile device, which wouldn't help you at all. So I'm going to drop that link in the chat box too, so you can just click on it and go forward from there. All right. All right, let's go ahead and dive in there. Again, those handouts and slides are only going to be available during the session, but they will be emailed to you later with a recording of it. All right, we're going to be talking about how you can get your business on Google Search and Maps. This is who I am. Of course, I introduced myself to you. I am a small business owner that grew up in an incubator. I've earned the Texas Governor's Excellence in Small Business Award, Businesswoman of the Year. So I do know what it's like to grow from the ground up, being one, and then growing to a larger team. I also can be found on Twitter or X. You'll see that's the first handle there, at Maria Duron, D-U-R-O-N. Feel free to connect with me there, because I do love to hear what happens next. What did you apply that you learned? Because knowledge is not powerful until it's applied. There are many of us who could win Trivial Pursuit, but couldn't figure out how to make a dime. So this is why it's so important to be able to apply. And I love to celebrate that either on X or Twitter, or the second handle is me on Instagram, except there is a typo there. It is Maria. I don't know how to spell my name when I'm trying to talk and do something at the same time, obviously, but it is M-A-R-I-A. So you just need to fix and transpose that A and the I, just switch those spots, and then you'll find me. And I love to hear that that and do celebratory gift dances that you actually applied what you learned, because only a few will do that. Okay. All right. So the Everything Small Business, you can find at that blue link there. And of course, reach out to your SCORE chapter, because SCORE is there for you. They're a wonderful resource vested in your success. And you have the great value of other people's experience, which you don't have to spend the time, energy, sweat, and also setbacks that happen when you have to discover that on your own. You have the ability to take the benefit of your SCORE mentors and the benefit of their learning and the years and the sweat and the tears they put towards that, and now apply those learnings to you without all of that stress and extra work. So you still have to apply it, of course, but now you didn't have to walk that walk to actually get that experience. Today, we're going to be talking about what is your Google business profile. Let me know with a show of ones in the chat box if you have a Google business profile. Let me know that. I'd love to hear if you already have one, how to create one. For those of you that do have one, know that I want to walk through this to make sure you've optimized it. Perfect, Steve. Welcome, Steve. How are you using? Also, Andrew, welcome. Thank you, Steve and Andrew. Welcome. How are you using your Google business profile right now? What is it that you do with it? Okay, I'd love to hear how people use it, because I'm always amazed at small businesses and their ingenious, creative ideas. So how do you manage that business info and the resources? Just so that you know, Steve and Andrew, even though you have one, I'm still going to walk through making sure that you've optimized it so there's not something there that could be an obstacle to Google seeing it. And then, of course, you showing up high in Google search and maps, because if we're not showing up within the first 10 searches of Google, then people don't consider us an expert at what we do. In fact, they may think that you're even out of business. So it's really important, and understand 84% of us go here first, a mobile device, when we want to know, go, do, or buy. And so what that 10 searches, the first 10 searches looks like is about 2 swipes. If they swipe up twice and they don't find you, then they're not doing business with you, because if they don't know you exist, they can't do business with you. So what is a Google business profile? All right, this is what it looks like. For those of you who don't have one, you can see here how it looks on a mobile device. Remember, I said that's where people are going first. In fact, when I was working with the Amazon team, they built for mobile first, and then if there was additional time, energy, or money, they made something that was a desktop or laptop version, because they know that people go here first. It is where we live. We no longer just go online, we live online. And that's a major shift that happened, because we saw people going online before 2020. And then, of course, 2020, everybody lived online. And that heightened expectation of you need to be online is there. In fact, in 2020, when everything went down, we were surprised and excited when a business finally figured out how to do curbside and door-to-door delivery. And now we expect it, just like with Amazon. We expect that 24-hour delivery. We are upset when a business cannot do that, because there's now heightened expectations. So if you're not online, if I can't find you on my mobile device like this, even if I'm a local business, you don't exist and I cannot consider you. And understand that's a part of the funnel. Part of the funnel is awareness is the biggest one. If they don't know you exist, they can't do business with you. Then consideration, they need to know you're the best at what you do. It doesn't matter what our budget is. Everybody still wants to work with the best. And if you show up high in search, you already get the halo effect that you know what you're talking about. You're the best in your business. So consideration is second. And we don't even move to that second part of the top of funnel if we don't have that existence. So we know people are going there to book things, to get directions, to be able to connect and know exactly what you stand for, how well you do, whether you listen to your customers. So we look at reviews too. And in fact, in Google Maps, we see that more than 2 billion people, we look on maps, we search on maps. And understand, while I am focused and I have my Google t-shirt on, I teach everybody about all digital marketing and how you can make good and be seen. And even though what I'm teaching is Google, and understand what you do good by Google is good for all the other search engines, but there's also Apple Maps and there's Bing Places. Why are you not there? Why are you not meeting your customers where they're at? Because if you try to get people to look at one place and they're looking at another, for example, if they're looking over here and you're trying to get them to look over here, it takes a tremendous amount of time, energy, and money to get people from over here to look here. Why wouldn't you want to show up where the eyeballs already are and take advantage of that visibility? So as you see across Google, and it is still the #1 search engine in the world, I know people may discover things in Instagram Reel, Gen Zs may look at TikTok, but when they're ready to buy, they're looking at Google. And understand, Google does include YouTube. So as we look at all devices, it shifts and it's nicely responsive, because if people can't find you and they have to pinch and zoom or swipe side to side to read something, so it's not mobile responsive, they will just go on to the next thing because they just don't have time for that. They are, again, living online, and there's heightened expectations that you have to be ready to do business online. And that all is on us. So how do we create a good business profile? You start here. For those of you who've never done one before, if you look at the blue link at the bottom, towards the bottom middle left side of the slides as you're looking at them, it's google.com/business. If you're logged into your Google account already, so understand, a free personal Gmail account is a Google account. It does not have to be the paid workspace account. All right. The free, the free, and I like free and small fee, the free personal Gmail account, if you have one already, you're golden. You just log in and Google's going to recognize you. If you don't have one, don't worry. All you need to do is go to that URL at the bottom left-hand corner there. And when you go there, you'll use your current email address and create a password. And like any other password protected site online, you are good to go. You're going to use that to log in. Now, as you start, you will see the ability to actually type in your business name. Type in your name of your business and pay attention, because it's going to bring up every business in the United States that has that name. You're going to pick the one for your location. If it's not there, don't worry. Now, let me address a myth right away. There are people who believe that if they're home-based or by appointment only, or maybe they don't have something public facing, like they have a big storage place where they keep all of their supplies, but they go and they, like a carpet installer, they don't need people to just come to their storage space to see them, because they're only there when they're picking up or resupplying, right? Or maybe you're home-based, you don't want people showing up at your home. Maybe you're e-commerce, but you do some business in town. Maybe you have little boutiques where you showcase things, or you also do trade shows or farmers market, or maybe you deliver things to people's doorstep, or even at coffee shops, or at the line at school, or maybe at taekwondo practice when you're picking up your kiddos in the parking lot. You can use for free the Google Business Profile. You don't have to have a physical location, a storefront, a business, an office place where people come to visit. So as you look for that, now you're going to go ahead and put that in and put in your name, and you'll see there's a category right there under that first block there that's on the screen there for the laptop graphic. When you look there, you'll see that they put electrician for Detroit voltage. There are about 3,000 different categories. Choose the one that is closest, the one closest to you, because I'll teach you, you have the ability to add 9 other subcategories, but do not do that until after you're verified. Getting verified is most important first, and you have to choose one of the categories to do that. You're not allowed to choose any subcategories until you're verified, because you're not the business owner. So Google is not going to give you that opportunity to do that. And yes, this is being recorded, as well as right now, if you want a copy of the slides, right now as we're following along. Okay, so you can see that. Let me go ahead, in case you didn't see that because you logged in after I dropped it. No worries, right? So just like Bill said, there's a copy, and then you'll get the handouts emailed to you. But if you want them right now in real time, you are able now to go ahead and do that. And again, after the session, you won't be able to download and access those. So download those now, access those now, or they'll be emailed to you later today or tomorrow. All right. What address to use Google if no physical address? If you don't have an address to use, great question, Natalia. So Natalia, what you would use is, if you've got a home address, use it. But I'm going to show you what setting you need to change in Google so it's not published on Google Search and Maps. Google will need an actual mailing address, not a P.O. box, but an actual mailing address to be able to verify you, because anybody can get a P.O. box, and they want to know that you're actually a business in the United States. You're not just trying to create a business presence online and now start fishing for a lot of information. So trying to grab people's personal information. They want to verify that you're an actual business. So you are going to have to put a physical mailing address there. For example, I was working with a community theater, and of course they actually had a physical address because they're a theater, right? So they want people to go for auditions or to come to the actual play. But their actual mailing address was a PO box, so they could not verify. So what the executive director did is she actually put her home address and went ahead and changed that setting so that would not show up on Google search and maps, because she didn't want people showing up there for a show or to audition. And then she was able to get verified there, and then put actually in the description, and then add to the drop to the actual pin that they had a physical location. But after they're verified, do not try to do any of that before you're verified, because now you're trying to make changes to a business where you've not proven you're the owner. Okay. So here's the question that I'm referring to, Natalia. It is, do you have a location customers can visit? If yes, they can come in the door. So this is a restaurant, a boutique, a salon, a bar, a store, a office building, a massage, a gym, any place like that where you want foot traffic, then you say yes. But if you have a home-based business, you're by appointment only, you have a storage shed, your e-commerce, you say no. You deliver products and services to their location. All right. The answer is no if you do not want your address showing up on Google Search and Maps. Now, the first thing that will happen when you are verified is when you log in to go look and do updates and then be able to put things like other categories and descriptions, is now you'll be given the opportunity to drop that pin. That's the first temptation. Do not be tempted. Okay. Don't do it. Just leave it alone and say skip, because once you drop the pin, that is giving permission to Google to say, yes, put my address on search and maps. Now you are going to enter the address, right? Isn't that something you're like here? No, you say, no, I deliver products and service. But remember what I said, Google has to verify that you are here in the USA and that you're an actual business. So you must put the actual address. But if you don't want that to show up in search and maps, do not say yes, say no here, and do not be tempted to drop the pin once you get to the back office. Too many people just see it right in front of them, and so they run into just, let's drop it, let's make it look right. So you're going to put that address in, all the official information. Now, if you are not showing your address, this is critical. This is also important if you are showing your address, but if you're not, this is going to determine whether or not you show up when people are searching for your products, goods, or services. And that is using the service area. So you have up to 20 zip codes, cities, states, counties that you can put into add the areas that you serve. All right. How do I change from yes to no in the address after I've created the profile? That's a little bit tougher, Steve. I'll try to show that at the end if we have time, so you can actually showcase that. But yes, you do have to be in there already managing the account. And it sounds like you have one because you said yes at the very beginning. So let's save that to the end and I can show you how to do that. Okay. All right. So you're going to add the areas here that you serve. You can have up to 20. Here is what I want you to remember. This saying, nail it before you scale it. A lot of people want to name the US. They'll say, I serve from Seattle to Miami. The problem is the superpower of this tool is it's hyper local focused, which means you need to stay within 100 miles of one location. So it could be your physical address. I am in Midland, Texas, the base of the panhandle of Texas. I'm football country. Dallas is 400 miles to the east. I mean, 400 miles. That's not next door for me at all. But if I serve Dallas, then I would put Dallas, Texas, or the zip codes there, maybe Fort Worth, but because it's within 100 miles, maybe Flower Mound right around there. So I'm picking up the local communities because that's where the bulk of the people who do business with me. Okay, so I might put that there. Understand, you want to stay hyper local focused. And the reason you want to do that is because if you don't, you will dilute the effectiveness of this tool. And I always know when people have done that, when they ask me to look at their business profile and say, what's not working? And I go to maps and I see that their little dot is hanging out in the ocean. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you don't want people to see your address. That's fine. It's still going to show that little pin where your area is, where the concentration is that you're working actually and focused on, your best customers are. Wherever you say, wherever you put those 20 cities, zip codes, or counties at, it's going to concentrate on that. But if you say from Seattle to Miami, then you're going to end up in the ocean where nobody is searching for you. So that's why you don't want to actually incapacitate and dilute the effectiveness of this tool, because then I would say, why even use it if you're just going to waste it? The other reason is because you need to work on your reviews. Everybody, for you to be considered a brand, so even a personal brand, let's say you're a coach or a consultant or an author, maybe you're an advisor. For you to be considered even on the national, to be, even compete nationally, you have to have 60 5-star reviews. 5-star reviews, everybody, 60 of them minimum. If you're an e-commerce store, you need 120. So that's 60 for a personal brand, service brand, a brand, maybe even a business that is consulting, accounting, so very service-based. If you're in e-commerce where you're selling products and packaging, you need to have 120. So this is where you nail it before you scale it, because this is where people who know you before you were in this role also know your work ethic. So you know people that you drop off kiddos with, that you volunteer at church, at school. Maybe you guys are in little league, football, in soccer teams together. Maybe your kiddos are, but you know people who know your work ethic. And also you know people who would be very sad if you did not do well in business. So they want to support you and they will give you a review just because they know you and your work ethic. So reach out to them because you need 60 minimum, 60, 120 for an e-commerce store. Now you're going to enter your business contact info here. You'll see if you have a website, you can put it there. You don't have to if you don't have a website. We can talk about that more later, but you have a chance to add that later once you show that you're the owner of this account. Now you're going to get verified, and it could be any of the 5 ways, the bullet points at that bottom left-hand corner. Any of those 5 can come up. Now, I've been very lucky working with some businesses. They've gotten the phone and text verification. I love when that happens because it's nice and easy and you can start managing your account right away. What I don't like is when it's video, because the video is very intense. In fact, I have a complete walkthrough of how you need to do that and a spreadsheet because it is very intense. You've got to do the video, no breaks in the recording. You've got less than 2 minutes and it's got to be less than 20 megabytes in size. It really is something that's very grueling. And most people that I know that actually get it done have more than themselves doing that at the same time because it is so intensive and so quick and so it can't be a big file. So that's the big thing. You can't split it up. So I always get excited when they get phone, text, but a lot of times you get postcard, and that's fine too. You're going to get a postcard with 5 digits. You're going to put that in and you're going to verify. And then now you can go ahead and choose that verification method if you're given a choice. Sometimes you're not given any choice. If you are only given the video verification, that's all you've got. You can't appeal to Google support. You can't do anything. That's all you've got there to use. So that's why I say and spent so much time at the first part here, because what you put in and how well you put that in is going to be a factor on the verification methods that you're actually presented. Okay, so now you're going to hear something from Google if it is a postcard method or the video method. If you're using the video method, it can take up to 9 tries to do that, just so you know, on average, that's about what it's taking. So I wish it was easier. I wish I controlled that, but I don't. Okay, there are 3 more ways to add your business. You can either go to maps, you can go here. Again, if you're just dropping in, because I saw somebody just drop in, there is where you can get the slides and a copy of the handout to follow along with me. And I encourage you to download it now, because once I'm off, once the session's over, it won't be available there anymore, but it will be emailed to you with a recording later today or in the morning. Okay, so these are other options. So you do have 3 other options. So how do you manage this? Because I know that that's what Steve and Andrew are waiting for. How do you manage this? So once you're verified, now you can go through and you can go into Google search. If you're logged into the Google account that you created your actual profile with, you will see this when you go into search. You'll see all of those icons, right? So let me see if I can show you what that looks like live, because, sorry, getting into little unclear thought, and it takes me just a moment to go from live to because I'm switching screens. So hold on just a moment, because I'm going to bring up Google Business Profile. All right. And sometimes it just takes a little bit because I'm presenting, so it lags a little bit. And I got to make time to make it bigger. So what you see in front of you, that's live, actually showing you my Google Business Profile. Excuse me again. Last time, I hope. Okay. So now, so you can see these icons right here in front of you. That's how you can manage it. And you can see that how much how much visual real estate it takes there on the right-hand side of a desktop or laptop. And it's actually showing in Google search and maps. So you'll see this here. Yes, I'm competing nationally because I've got 266 five-star reviews, right? So you can see that here. You can also see the products that I have. Even though I have services, I packaged them together into products. You can see that I've answered questions, which is where AI is pulling from. AI empowered search also pulls from here. You can see the reviews. It pulls from reviews that it sees too. You can see the photos and the updates I do. I update regularly because I know every 5 to 7 days the algorithm refreshes, and I like to stay at the top of the algorithm because I want to be in those first 10 searches. I don't want people to swipe past two screens and then not be able to find me. And then of course I have all my profiles here because you can put that in yourself. So I just wanted to show that to you. So you'll see what it looks like. This is where you can control everything here. All right, we're going to come back to that in a moment as we go through different things, but I did want to give you the live view of that. All right, let's go here and let me go back to the slides. All right, you're going to look at your business name, your category, the descriptions, everything. You're going to look at all that there, and you're going to look at those phone numbers, everything that you need to put there. The biggest thing here is to look at the description. You have 750 characters, so every letter, every space, punctuation mark is a character to describe what your business is. Please do not just copy and paste from your website. This is for you and where you need to be an expert on your customer. It is on us to understand how our customer searches. If you are an overhead door company and your customer searches for garage doors, are you relevant? Do you match? No, you don't. Understand Google's algorithm is built on three things, all of Google products that are actually involved in search, from YouTube to Google Business Profile to your actual website. All of those in Google Merchant Center rely on three pillars, and they are each have about 1,000 different components. Number one is relevance. How well do you match how people and what people are searching? So if you're saying we're the best overhead door company within the tri-state area, we're the best overhead, we get the best overhead company reviews, we're the ones that can help you with all your overhead door needs, and people are saying to Google, Alexa, or ChatGPT, or Perplexity, or however they search, or Bing GPT, they are saying, how can I fix my garage? Are you matching? Are you using their words? Absolutely not. So now you're not relevant. You did not fulfill pillar number one of the algorithm, so you don't show up. So it's on us to know the words that people use. How do you find out what the words are that people use? Well, what you need to do is read your reviews, because in their own words, people will tell you what matters most to them. And they are telling you that in their own words, not industry speak. So it's time for you to pay attention to that and really utilize that in your description here so that it can help you match. Everybody asks me, how can I get found in search? And then I look at their description at their Google Business Profile, and the first thing they're doing is trying to cover the world. So they're out in the ocean. And then their description is just some industry jargon that they copy and pasted a paragraph from their website that nobody utilizes when they're searching. Okay. If you don't have reviews, then go to your competitors and read their reviews, because again, in their own words, people are telling you and telling that competitor what matters most. They also may be complaining, and that could be a sweet spot to you to actually see an opportunity and seize that opportunity, right? All right, you can put your socials in there. You can put your actual attributes if you want to highlight that, because I am an Air Force brat and I work with a lot of military families transitioning to owning a business, and spouses who have to deal with owning a business, as well as with other spouses that are being deployed. I know that veteran owned carries a lot of weight. So if you want to utilize any of these icons, you can turn these on. Again, in the back office, when you're in Google search, you have the opportunity to do that once you've shown that you actually own this. So you manage it and you're the owner of this business. Now you can add photos and videos. I encourage you to. We are a highly visual society. Remember what I said about the way Amazon does delivery? Well, heightened expectations in 2020 increased the fact that we want to see everything visually, right? We want to see photos and we want to see videos. In fact, people who leave you reviews with photos and videos, those photos and videos carry a lot more weight and importance in Google search than anything else. The same thing with your photos and videos. So those are all the specifics under each 3 bullet points for photos and videos of what you need to be able to meet, to be able to, and those are the requirements to be able to add that into your Google Business Profile. Again, look for those well-lit images. And what I want you to avoid here is phone stuffing. So what is phone stuffing? You might be wondering, what is that fourth bullet point? So what phone stuffing is when you add text to your photos that says call, text us, message us, find us on YouTube, anything like that. Google reads that and considers that an ad. So if you're not paying for ads, where does it show you in search then? If this is a free tool. So you want to put the photo up there, put the photo up there. Know that every business profile post, so you can put post up there, updates, offers, and events. You can post those on your Google business profile. All has a call to action, from learn more to sign up to call to visit the website, and can link to the actual page of that website. So there's no reason to put that text here and to be penalized then, or even suspended and then not visible is the big thing, and wasting your time and energy trying to get in front of people when you're doing things that are keeping you from that by putting that text in your actual photo. So no phone stuffing. Now you're going to add that update. You see that showed in front of you right there, how to do that. And remember what I said about the updates. You can do an update, you can do an offer, you can do an event. So what would a potential update be? Let's say that you just got a new product in and you want to give everybody a sneak peek, because we all want that exclusive, that behind the scenes look, right? That nobody else gets to see except people following you. So, and people can follow you. You can see who's following you too, the customers that are following you. Those are highly engaged people because they want to follow and make sure that they made a right decision, or they support you and they love you and adore you and they left you a great review, and they want to make sure their friends are seeing you as well. So they may follow you, or maybe you supply them with something that they need every few months. They're going to follow you. And when they see an update, now they're going to see that, as well as the general public when they're on Google search and maps. So as you look at this update, it could be a new product. So you're showing them this is what it looks like behind the scenes, or you're unboxing it. This coming out. Where are we going to put this? I've even seen salons really engage people and make sure that they feel heard by saying, where should I put this lotion? Where should this go? The best story that I ever have in a business profile is when I was working with a business. And of course, they were dealing with what many people are right now, the hurricane. And because they were dealing with a hurricane, they were flooded out. So they were shut. They were shut for almost 12 weeks. I mean, that can make or break a business, can it? So what they did is they went to their business profile and they would showcase photos as they cleaned things out, and then as things were refurbished or brought back in, and how they remodeled different things and where they needed to put things. And they would actually ask people here in their update where they should put something. Where that would this be? So when they had a grand opening, grand reopening, it was the biggest one ever, because people felt like, oh, this is my salon. I helped design this. I decided to put this here. They felt like they were in the know, and they didn't feel like just because a hurricane happened and this place was shuttered for 12 weeks that they're out of business and I need to find another salon. They were there for them, standing in support of them. You can also put offers there until the offer is actual over. So if you have an offer that's till the end of October, October 31st, then you could put it up there and it's visible on Google search and maps till then. The same thing as an event. Bill, if you wanted to today even put the SCORE event out there, it would have been visible on Google search and maps. So it can be a physical event, a virtual event. You could put that up there and it would be there until the actual event started. So you can get a lot of visibility. And this is where you can control your information on Google search and maps in your Google business profile. But I see a lot of people set this and forget it. So they don't use the update, they don't use the offer, and they don't use the event, but yet they try to struggle with SEO and figure out how they can show up in Google, and they pay a lot of money to do that without using this. This is the low-hanging fruit, and I am a free or small fee gal until you've maxed out the free. Once you've maxed out the free and you know you've got it going, and now you need to just increase the volume and the visibility on it, that's when you start doing paid promotions. So you can add those updates. You can read your reviews too. It is so important for you to read your reviews. Understand that 97% of businesses do not say thank you for a good review. So if you want to stand out in the upper 3% for no additional money, just say thank you for a good review. We, in human nature, we look for the negative reviews, right? We're like, where is that? Where's that negative review? So we want to address that, but say thank you for a great review. And here's a hint. if you really want to put some SEO, search engine optimization power behind it. And for those of you that don't know what SEO is, that's what it stands for. But it means that you're building trust in the search engine, that it shows you up higher in search. When Google is confident, or Bing, or Apple, when it is confident the fact that your business information is correct and that it's helpful to the people who are searching for your product, service, or solution, it will show you higher in search. So how do you show confidence? Well, first, knowing and showing that you're the expert in your business and you're the expert in your customers. You know what they want. You know what words they use. So what can you do in your reviews? When I say thank you for a review, I actually will say, thank you for that great review. I appreciate the review. I appreciate the insights. And then I use the words that I see showing up most in my reviews. I really do strive hard to make sure that I put things together in practical terms that are in sound bites and doable, because I know you're still busy running your business. I keep the tech speak out of it and make it very 1, 2, 3. And I work hard to do that. I'm glad that that was something that connected with you. And I look forward to hearing how you succeed in applying what you learned. All right. So I put a lot in my thank you, but that's because it also has good opportunity to increase Google's confidence in you. Right? So your tips for managing reviews, you'll see there are 5 bullet points here. If you do see trolls, and you will, what a troll is just somebody who is wanting to leave negative comments and they're just wanting to see if they could get anybody up and excited. You just don't have time to beat anybody like that, right? We're busy working on and in our business. So don't pay attention to the trolls. We always say don't feed the trolls, but do know that some will, like example, a lot of hospitality places or even service-based will say, I don't see you on our customer rosters. I don't see you here. I didn't see that you stayed here. Please message us here. And they do that because it's not for the troll, but it's for all the people looking at the reviews afterwards, because none of us want to work with anybody that doesn't listen to their customers. So if you don't respond to your reviews with thank you or even anything, then people look at that and they think, well, here they don't even care what their customers think. And that really does affect that first impression that they have of you, and it is very lasting. So let's say that you get a negative review, because if you've been in business any amount of time, you're going to get one. And just know that's the nature of the beast. People will say nobody can be a perfect 5, right? You can't, even though you may be most amazing, they won't give you a perfect 5. That's just some human nature. There's some people who see the glass half full, some people who see life as abundant, some who see it as scarce and lacking. It's just the diversity that we have, right? So just know you're going to get that. Here is how you respond to a negative review. That is not the experience that I want for you, or we. It could be your team and you. So you might have a whole business behind you or a whole group. It could just be you as a solopreneur, consultant, or a freelancer. So that's not the experience we want for you. I'd like to learn more without jeopardizing your privacy. Would you please contact us here? And then you can leave your WhatsApp link, your message where they can text message you, so your phone number, a link to your contact form. You can leave an email address. Really, however you want them to contact you, that's what you leave. But now, all of us lurking and seeing you for the first time know that you listen and you care, and that speaks volumes to us. So again, the answer is, that's not the experience that I want for you. I'd like to learn more without jeopardizing your privacy. Would you please contact me here? And you're not lying. You are absolutely not lying. Because do know, I've worked with so many financial institutions. When people respond in there saying that they're listening and they care, then people have, I've seen it because reviews are public facing, left their account number, their password, their routing number, everything there, because they think they're speaking one-on-one with a representative. So it's all there for the public picking. So you can ask for reviews. Also, you have the ability within your business profile to ask for reviews. That's built in. It does a shortened link there. And you can share that on social, in your profile links, because you get 5 profile links within your Instagram profile. You can put that there. You can also send it out by email or put that at the bottom of your email address. I was speaking to a group. They're all movers. So when I say not movers and shakers, but really physical movers. So they have trucks and they move people from one house to another, different locations, but they all use this link right here. And they put and made a QR code from it, and they had it in the back of their shirts, because when people said, oh, I'd love to leave you a great review, then they said, great, snap a picture of this QR code and you're good to go. right? Because most people will leave you a good review if you ask and you provide them the opportunity to leave it. But if they have to wait to get onto life, they're then inundated with 12,400 other messages and they're distracted. So they have great intention, but they never do it. You can also look at your performance report. This is important. You need to know when people are calling you, how are they booking you, what's actually happening. So again, if you're not measuring, you're not marketing. $1 or 1 minute spent that's not lifting that bottom line or getting you closer to your goal is $1 and 1 minute spent too much. So it's important for you to look at your marketing. You can look at those numbers and now you can make better business decisions from those analytics. You can also click on the three dots here to be able to add managers. Now, I do want to make sure if you take away anything from this, that you never, ever, ever give away your Google password. Never, ever. You will have people ask for that. You will even be tempted as you work with agencies or, small boutique firms or even a freelancer. You might say, you know what, it's so hard to figure this out. Let me just give you my password. You're going to be tempted to do that. But understand, the minute that you've done that, you've given away the keys to the kingdom. And Google cannot see you anything different from that person. They can shut you down, shut you out, close this business profile, make sure you have no access to your reviews, say ugly things in the reviews to your customers, direct them to your competitors. And I have seen that. I wouldn't say it if I haven't seen that. I sat with a surfing company, a mother and a son at an actual event. So I was on stage and they were in line with about 100 people to ask me questions and they were crying because one of their employees had access to it. They became disgruntled. They left. They controlled it. They said all ugly things, and they actually directed their business and their customers to go to the competitor. It was horrible for them, but they had no recourse because they gave their password away, and Google sees them and the other person as the owner, equal in that. So do never, never give that away. So you see those three dots there? That's where you add managers. Because when you add managers and even other owners, okay, so you're the primary owner, you are the ultimate owner. You can shut yourself, other people out, you can shut yourself down. But there is primary owner and then there's owner. So owner can do everything that you can do, and you may want them to do that because you don't have time. You're working in your business. But understand the owner can never shut you down or shut you out. So a primary owner can do all of that. An owner can do everything you can do, except cannot shut you down or shut you out. A manager means that they can do everything, but they cannot add additional people to the account. So you may want to control that. And that is really up to you. Make that your decision. Do not give that power away to them and your business away by giving them the password to your Google account. This is usually when I see a lot of people, if I'm doing this from stage, immediately start texting somebody. And I'll tell them right away after this, make sure you get that done. So you want to either claim or complete your business profile. You want to verify that you are the owner there, right? So you do need to verify it. So those are the next steps. Remember what I said about knowledge is not powerful until it's applied. So it could be that you want to do any of these three things to get started with your business profile because you're not Steve and Andrew here and you want to get that done. Or maybe if you're Steve and Andrew, you want to get in the habit of now looking at your description and changing that to match the actual words of your customers and people searching. Maybe you need to add more photos and videos, or you've been guilty of what many business owners do, which is they do not post. 69% of those who own a Google business profile never post again. They think it's a set it and forget it tool. And now realizing with AI powered search, how important that tool is and that they've had the ability to manage it all the time, or they gave it away and they're realizing for the first time that they don't. So explore those reports too, so you can truly measure your marketing. Now, I'd love to hear in the chat box what you're actually going to apply that you learned today, because I've covered quite a bit. And I know, Steve, you had some questions too. So I do want to be able to show you some things live. I'm going to be doing that next, but I'd love to answer any questions. So make sure you find that chat box, especially if you dropped in and you haven't found it yet. Make sure you do find it. I also want to make sure that you have access to the resources. So you know this because you're here in the session, but if you're watching the recording in post, or you're not sure who invited you, do get with SCORE, Northeast Indiana, because they're there to help you. There is so much value, everybody. Remember what I said about other people's experience? Why do you want to go through the sweat and the drama and the stress of it when you can rely on somebody who's walked the walk and can now truly talk the talk and be able to assist you in getting over those obstacles or avoiding those pitfalls altogether. Of course, if you need an SEO audit, you can get a free SEO audit here. I am providing that to everybody who's on SCORE. So that's an SEO audit. You can go down, go to about mid-page or the third of the page down, and you will see where you can get an audit. And what I'm providing to everybody at SCORE, because I love to be able to volunteer and assist as well, is I will give you a 10-minute review of your audit. So I'll do a video review, 10-minute video review of your audit to be able to showcase what you need to work on. So it can at least point you in the right direction. Okay. And of course, if you want to connect with me on socials, you are welcome to do that. If you'll use that bit.ly link, and do understand that bit.ly is case sensitive and Norton antivirus doesn't like bit.ly, but it is a safe link that you can go here to see all of my socials and just connect with me at the social that you use the most. So you can see that here, because I love to give updates. In fact, I gave an update last week within our newsletter and also our free marketing community. I gave an update of the 12 contact phone numbers and email addresses you needed to have at Google for support. And I put that all together into one actual post within our community. And then, of course, if I've been helpful to you, I like to model what I teach. And you'll see that this is actually my Google Business Profile code. That's the QR code that goes straight to my business profile. But I've got a customized domain, because usually with Google, even if it's shortened, it's a lot of different words and letters and characters back there that it just comes across as gibberish. And I know when I can tell people review Maria.com, or just like those people who put it at the back of their shirt in those moving vans and companies, I try to make it as easy for you to do that. If you so feel like you want to, I'd be so honored, but there's no requirement to. Okay. All right, let's go into Q&A, and I'm actually going to go into some live demos there. So let's see. I see some questions there. My business isn't visible to customers. I think everything is set up correctly. If it's not visible to customers, then you're not verified, because you may not be verified. So let me show you what that looks like here, because I do want to, some of this I'm going to keep on the recording right now, just because I want you to see this live. Sometimes, seeing it actually happen instead of just on slides is a lot easier. So if you're looking here, if you don't have the ability, so it'll be a little warning right up here, Steve, right at that second row, that'll say, you still have to verify your business. So you're an unverified business. If you're an unverified business, you cannot activate any of these. I mean, you can add them, you can do whatever you want, but it'll not be public facing until you're verified. So it's usually right above these suggestions here, or right aligned with these suggestions. Okay, so you'll see it right there. Christy, I'm applying all of it since I haven't opened a business yet. Oh, perfect. So you won't get into any of the bad habits. You're already good. So you can see what you need to do here and see those 3 dots. That's where you can go in here and start doing the business profile setting. And now you can add and edit or remove people's access, right? So you can say, who's the primary owner? You'll see I got lots of Google accounts. Most of us do. And that way I have different ways back into my Google business profile, but you'll see nobody else owns it except for me, right? So that's how I'm able to control that. How to interact with trolls? Sure, Natalia. How you interact with trolls is you just might say, what's your business? I'd love to hear what your business is. So let me know, so you can avoid that. And you can't avoid the bots. Google is working on that 24/7, but as quickly as it works on it and removes some, there's about quadruple that amount that are now launching online. So that's the hard part. I wish I had an answer to that, but that is an ongoing struggle. So yes, the struggle is real. If you want to tell me about your business, I can tell you a little bit more about let's see, how you can interact with trolls, some of the best responses for you. If you want to tell me more about your business, just leave that and drop that in the chat box. Okay, everybody? So you can see here, just like I showed you, these icons are where you can control. You can edit that profile. You can put your business category. Now, something else that is also something you don't maybe not know how to do this, or make the mistake of doing it too quickly, is adding more than one business category. Remember what I said, when your primary category, the primary category is the only one you have a chance to name and say. So there's only about 3,000 choices there. You've got to name the one that's closest to what you actually do, name that. And then when you're verified, you now have the ability to add 9 more. So you have up to 10 different business categories you can add. The caution here is do it slowly, one at a time. Like, for example, when I had consultant, then after I owned my business profile for about a month, I came in and I put marketing agency, because we do provide some services and we do some work for actual clients. So I put marketing agency and then I left it alone. I didn't touch it for 3 more weeks, because what I don't want to do is put marketing agency, advertising agency, a trainer, all of this stuff. I don't want to add all this. And then all of a sudden Google freak out and think, oh my gosh, she's changing the business. We better go verify again. Because once you're thrown back into a verification event, now you are no longer visible in search and maps until Google once again verifies you're the owner. It freaks out and thinks that maybe somebody took over the account, or maybe you were fake to begin with, so it now needs to check you out again. So do this ever so slowly. Those 9 categories can really showcase what makes you unique. Just do not add them quickly, okay? You can also see here, you can put your opening date. You have about 6 months before you open. So I was working with a wine bar in Oklahoma, and they actually put the fact that they were going to be opening, they're not going to open till January 2025. And so now they can start anticipating that. They are a location because they are a wine bar. So they're already showcased on maps that they're going to be there. So this is being pushed out in maps because Google does want, and does program into the algorithm to showcase new business information. So it gets some visibility for you up there. Okay. And then of course, your contact info, your website, you see how I put all the social links there? You can as well. So you can put all your social links, just choose the one that works best for you. I've chosen all of them, so I have no more left, but you have all of the social links available there to you. You can also put your location. I don't have the location because I happen to be home based, so I don't want anybody showing up on my doorstep expecting to be trained or consulting. And you can see, different hours. You can choose special hours, like if you have a happy hour. So if you happen to be hospitality based, you might have a pickup time. Again, you could put all of that information here, and you control it also here at the top of tabs. You can read your reviews, you can add your photos. So when you read your reviews, you'll show the top ones up here. You can also show the newest ones. You can filter however you'd like to filter those. You can look at photos as well, and you can add those photos. You can look at your performance. You can edit your products. Again, I put all my products into packages, so I have no physical product. Nobody's going to walk away from a training with me with a box, but you might be loaded down with a lot of digital products. So I put that there, and I put a photo depiction of it because people are very visual and they do want to look at that. Of course, you can put your booking link there. There's a lot of different integrations like Mind, Body, Spirit, which a lot of salons or gymnasiums, yoga studios utilize Q&A to answer. You can add an update. Remember what I said about updates, and you can see here what I'm talking about with updates with no text over it, right? So you can see I've got other updates here showcasing that I'm in training. I think this is the only one that I've put text every once in a while, but it's very, very rare when I do that, because I know that that's not, that actually shows me lower in search whenever I do that. So I don't want to be known for that. And then of course you can ask for reviews, and it gives you a lot of hints here of what you can do. Okay, I see there's some other questions here, so I'm going to go ahead and come off of the, let's see, I'm going to come off of the one monitor. So I'm going to go back to the other screen and go here and see what your other questions are. All right. So let me see. I'm actually going to stop my recording so it can start rendering, but I'm going to go in here and say, I do lead generation online, including Google. Bots is a true struggle. It is. So how do you interact with them saying, well, I didn't see you submit anything. I don't remember taking care of you, but here's how you can connect with me. And then probably a link to a contact form, because you don't want to give a bot your actual phone number. They'll go sell that off to somebody else who is looking for live active phone numbers. So you could definitely do it that way, Natalia, is just put a link to your contact form going, I don't see you on our list and I really do want to help you, put this here. But remember, that is only if you want to. And I would say, since you do lead generation, not really. It's more hospitality, restaurants, salons. So people who are public facing, who take a lot of walk-in traffic, will usually do that to showcase that they're not forgetting anybody, or they don't have a line out the wazoo, or they're just not, they don't pay attention to customers. So, you've seen places like that where you've walked in and nobody helps you. They don't even make eye contact with you and you're standing up front. That's the image you don't want to leave people with, because you're not listening. So those are usually the industries that will focus on making a response to that. For your industry, I don't think that you would really need to do that and waste your time doing that. Um, Follow. Oh, so okay. If you've gotten that your profile doesn't follow the guidelines, then I would make sure you definitely do look at what, the handout I just gave you and the slides, because it'll walk you through. You need to look at each point, every single point, and see if you vary anywhere from there, from what I've taught you today. Okay, so make sure you look. If it shows you're in violation, it will never show you exactly what you're in violation of. It's supposed to send you an email, but I think the email is still general. It's saying that they're moving towards getting more specific, saying, well, you said you started from Seattle to Miami. That's not local focused. Or it could be, you said that you have a location, but then you don't want to be put on search and map. So you do have to answer the no, that you don't want to be, your address there. So it could be that, and that's why you're disabled. It could be that somebody else has said that they're your business and they were able to claim and verify it. So now you're being knocked off as a duplicate. So again, I would go first through all of the handout, because that's the bare minimum of what you need to meet in order to be verified by Google. And then make sure that you didn't vary anything from that, because you could have been verified, but then you changed things. Like, for example, you added 2 categories at the same time. So Google had a little fit and said, oh my goodness, now we don't know who you are, and they've got to double check and verify you again. Okay. And they don't think maybe it's, maybe you said you're an online only business, or you put a PO box. So if you say those things, then yeah, it will definitely knock you out of there. If you're an ATM, if you're a vacation home, it'll knock you out of there too, because you'll need to look at Google's terms and services. There are only some businesses, like a jet ski rental place. I know in Corpus Christi, they're very seasonal. They can actually use it, but they have to put that they're seasonal, because they're not open all year round. So they're very seasonal to the summer months, and they're just a little shack out there. So it's not like anybody can go there in the wintertime and see anybody. So they are able to do that, but that's how they do that. So you do have to follow those guidelines for the category, the industry that you're in. Okay. All right. We are at the top of the hour, and I want to be very respectful of your time as well. Bill, is there anything else that I need to say? I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to you.
Oh, that's great. Thanks again, as always.
Oh, you're very welcome. I'll stop the share. Thank you, Bill.
The only other thing I want to mention is that we have coming up yet this month on the 22nd at 2 o'clock, we have a presentation on contemporary marketing where we talk about replacing the 4 Ps with what we call SAVE, where SAVE stands for Solution, Access, Value, and Education. And then Maria will be back with us on the 29th at noon to talk about how to make your website work for you. So thank you all for joining, and you should be getting a copy of the presentation and a recording of the same. So thanks for being with us today.